Hello and welcome to Paranormal United States, episode 9. This is Weird Florida.
Yes, it is. So for this episode, I thought we'd look a bit because in the last year I sort of talked about hauntings, things like this. I thought I'd take a bit of a difference this time, and I'm going to be talking about the Skunk Ape of Florida,
Okay,
which is Florida's version of the Bigfoot type creature that's been seen all over the world.
cool.
So the Skunk Ape inhabits forests and swamps of some of the southern eastern states of America. There's been some reports from Georgia and Alabama, but the vast majority do come from Florida. And you may picture Florida as a tourist, as theme parks and Disney World, and think of Miami. It's all quite compact, busy places. But actually, Florida is just full of thousands of miles of forests and swamps and grassland, just miles and miles of it, and tons of massive national parks and stuff which is where this creature gets seen, really.
Okay.
So, like I say, the skunk ape is similar to other cryptids such as Bigfoot, but generally a bit smaller, only by a little bit. Usually coming in at between 5 to 7 feet. So, do you know how it gets its name?
Tell me, tell me. It's a
So,
bit of a
it's
strange name. It is a bit of a
yes,
strange name.
skunk ape. It's like two animals in one. But it's commonly believed that this creature has a very foul odor similar to a skunk. So that's where the name skunk ape comes from. However, I do believe that in a couple of early reports, they stated that it's mainly dark fur, dark brown, reddish fur, but with like a white stripe on the head
Ah,
of
like
hair,
a skunk.
like a skunk. And that's where the
Okay.
names come from. And there's at least two reports from the early days that both separately mention this stripe of white hair
Okay.
looking like a skunk. I
Okay.
don't know how true that is, but I prefer that um, reason. And because they say that because it's foul smelling, but every sort of Bigfoot, Yowie, Yeti
Yeah.
all have says like foul smelling, smells like wet dog and excrement and stuff, which is so why would it be different for this one? They all smell
Yeah.
bad.
I
I
did
don't know.
think, as soon as you said skunk ape, I was thinking smell, but then, like you mentioned, all the other similar creatures are supposedly foul
Mm,
smelling.
yeah, so why is this one special? I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, and I like the idea of the white stripe down the back.
Mm.
It's a bit.
Bit of style to it as well.
Yeah. So why not? It is
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah, so a very early report was documented in a local newspaper in 1818
Oh wow.
when in what is now, I gotta try and pronounce this, Apalachicola
Okay.
in Florida, where a man-sized monkey was spotted raiding food stores and stalking fishermen along the
Okay.
shore. But reports came more common from the 1950s onwards into the 1970s. It became pretty popular. And similar to other creatures of its type, they're not very confrontational or aggressive. There are some reports where there's been aggressiveness and things being thrown, but generally more of a curious, secretive creature. Don't like to be seen, and if they do get seen by humans, they generally just flee into the forest and vanish like they do.
It's interesting you say that because um, got an interest in horses and other animals like that, and
Mm.
they've all got a flight reflex. They don't have the fight reflex like humans will have fight or flight.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that um, the cryptids, a lot of the cryptids, don't want to be seen or they run off when people, which is exactly like herd animals or antelopes, deer, all those kind of horses. They're always flight animals. They don't like to be seen. So interesting.
Yeah, I think maybe it could be from an evolutionary standpoint as well. If they get seen, they're likely to be killed, and so to survive, they just run and hide. It's the way that they've survived so far, just hiding in the forests.
Yeah, that's interesting because that suggests that they don't believe they're like top of the food chain, but they're big, potentially big creatures compared to some of the other animals that are out and about, especially like Yeti and stuff that are supposedly a lot taller. Yet
Hmm.
they they're sort of defending themselves by running away. So that's a strange one.
Yeah, you don't hear reports of them being the aggressor. They're always if they do reports of violence, it's usually in because they have been like in quotes or surprised. Maybe they're
Yes.
just reacting to it rather than if they can't run away, then obviously if they're backed into a corner, then
Yeah.
that's when they'll strike out.
Yeah.
But it's funny to say that because in 1977, several Florida counties came together and proposed a bill for state legislation that would make it illegal to take, possess, harm, or molest anthropoids or humanoid animals.
Oh, interesting.
So the bill never passed, but
Yeah.
they wanted to make it a crime to harm, as they called it, a humanoid animal, which is obviously describing these bigfoot-like creatures.
That's quite strange.
So for them to actually try and make it a law, they must have believed there's something
Yeah.
to it.
How
Because
strange.
they don't usually mess around lawmakers and stuff to
No.
like as a joke or whatever to put these sort of laws in. So it's a bit
That is
like I say,
odd.
sadly it never passed, but they did try to get it in,
Oh.
which is interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
It was like I say in the 70s, it started getting lots more reports. I know there's a corroborated account by two Palm Beach County Sheriff's deputies, Marvin Lewis and Ernie Milner, and they reported that a tall ape-like animal stalked them through a grove before they fired upon it to ward it off. Following the footprint trail, so the guys went after it. They recovered hair snagged on the barbed wire fence. So there was some sort of creature that
Yeah.
went off from him.
Okay.
I don't know if they ever like did tests on it to find out what it was, but they shot at something.
Yeah.
And I think that sheriff deputies don't know. There might be only shoot if they thought they were. I don't know. So actually, must have been a bit scared. Say let's get rid of it. Let's
Yeah, definitely.
get it out of the way.
Yeah, it's strange that there's no reports of any sort of tests on anything that they found afterwards, but maybe that was suppressed. Don't know.
An interesting case in July 1997, so a little bit more recently. This was Vince Dower, and he was the chief of the Okapi Fire Control District, so quite a high-ranking official. And Jan Brock, who was a real estate agent, they both separately spotted a large, hairy bipedal creature just minutes apart from each other while they were driving through the Everglades. So they're both driving through the Everglades, obviously at separate points, and they both reported seeing this large bipedal creature. And it was the fire chief, Doer, who caught this picture
Okay.
of the creature as it sort of made its way and disappeared into the forest.
Interesting.
So that was in 1997. So there's been lots of sightings, and again with quite official people like the sheriff deputies, chief of fire, who are reporting it as well, saying like I've just seen this weird creature. You've got the state councils trying to put a law in to protect the creatures. So it just seems to be quite accepted that there's something there.
And it's not as if the state needs sort of like tourism, so it's not like something that they're generating for tourism, because Florida is like the go-to fun sunshine, so it's a sunshine state anyway. But yeah, interesting. I like that.
Yeah. Obviously, you have to have all the alligators in the swamps and stuff that keep people out from, I guess, a pretty dangerous place.
Yeah, it is a pretty dangerous place. Maybe they're doing that to stop people going on there, but
maybe. But more recently, than going to COVID-19 times, several businesses in Florida have used the Skunk Ape smell to basically as an incentive for people to keep the distance. It's like a way of controlling social distancing a little bit, a bit of fun way to, yeah.
Well, is that like a spray or something? Just.
I used to love how the fart spray in a bottle. It's be awful.
Get back as a spray with Skunk Ape.
Could be some merchandise down the line.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's it for this week on Paranormal United States.